Now that Halloween's over, the holiday movie season's officially underway. That means a fresh batch of blockbusters will be heading to a multiplex near you. And here with a look at some of Hollywood's biggest Yuletide offerings is Matt Singer. He's the managing editor and film critic for the movie website ScreenCrush.com. Matt, good morning.
Good morning.
The one we seem to be getting bombarded with already is Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, and directed by Christopher Nolan. That's a pretty, big marquee there.
That is, and that's really what the big selling point is. You have Christopher Nolan, maybe the most bankable director in Hollywood after Steven Spielberg. A great cast with Jessica Chastain, Matthew McConaughey there, a few other people as well. The thing is, though, it's not exactly a crowd pleaser, or what I would call a crowd pleaser. It's almost 3 hours long.
Wow.
It's a lot of philosophy and astrophysics and some great special effects, but I think people are going to show up for it, but I wonder what the word of mouth is going to be. That's what I'll be curious to see. Are people going to enjoy it? You don't really walk out with a bounce in your step.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe you're here again and again. We're talking about Hunger Games. I feel like we're always talking about Hunger Games.
We have always been talking about Hunger Games. We will always be talking about Hunger Games.
Well, this one is called Mockingjay Part 1. What do you think of this one?
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but it's, this is going to be another, it might be the biggest hit of the fall for sure, because the Hunger Games is just a huge franchise. And actually, it's the Hunger Games, but there's probably less Hunger Gaming in this one than the previous ones, because as we're wrapping things up here slowly, because we've got to stretch it out as much as we can, the games are less important than this revolution against Donald Sutherland there, who's the evil dictator of the world.
Well, I don't like Donald Sutherland being evil. No, that's not good. Disney had a huge hit last year with Frozen. The follow-up is something called Big Hero 6.
That's right. That's right. And, Frozen was such a phenomenon. Frozen is now the 5th highest grossing movie of all time.
It was what every little girl was last night also for Halloween.
Absolutely. Now, Big Hero 6, it doesn't have princesses, talking snowmen, or songs that are so catchy you want to rip your ears out. But what it does have is Marvel. This is actually the first Disney movie that's based on a Marvel comic. So it's going to combine that Marvel stuff, the superheroes, the action, with the adorable Disney characters that everyone loves. Like this Baymax character you're seeing there, he's a robot, but he looks like a stuffed animal to me, which is maybe the most Disneyest thing I can imagine.
Let's talk about Exodus, Gods, and Kings, because Noah was, of course, a big biblical epic. Mm-hmm. Is this sort of following in that same vein?
Yeah, I think it is. It's been 50 years since the Charlton Heston "Let My People Go" 10 Commandments, so we're probably due for an update. This one going to have a little bit better effects, I would imagine. It looked the shots there; they look pretty good. I think that's what's going to draw people in. The other thing to keep in mind about this one is it's Ridley Scott who did Gladiator, and it looks to me a little like a biblical remake of Gladiator with the sword fights and the chariots and
All you had to do was say Gladiator. That movie was so good. Now
you're in now.
Yeah.
Okay, she buys those tickets. Biopics are big this season too. There's something called Wild coming out with Reese Witherspoon.
That's right. Biopics are always big in the fall because biopics win Oscars. Right. 3 out of the last 4 Best Actor winners, they were playing real people. So you're going to see a lot of biographies in the fall. And Wild is Reese Witherspoon. She's playing a woman, true story, who, as a sort of a kind of like therapy, she walked 1,000 miles on this trail or something like that. It's directed by the guy who directed Dallas Buyers Club, which Matthew McConaughey won the Oscar for. So definitely this one has Oscar written all over it, for sure.
Well, until we see you next time to talk about Hunger Games, Matt Singer.
Part 2, Mockingjay Part 2 next fall. It's not over yet.
Thank you so much.